Welcome back, everyone, to NFL Talking Points. I am your host, Joseph Gardner. Today, I've got a little bit of a bonus episode for you guys today. I just have been kind of thinking about this, talking about this with a few other people. I have compared NFC teams to AFC teams over and over. I'm like, this NFC team kind of feels like the AFC version of this team. And anyway, I have connected enough of them that I just decided I would just connect one NFC team to one AFC team. Not all of them lined up perfectly. I'm not super happy about all of them, but I think you guys are going to get a kick out of the few that, oh man, some of these are just spot on. To start it off, the first thing that I thought about, I brought this up with Matthew earlier in the week. The Bears and the Jaguars, both quarterbacks. First overall pick. Generational quarterbacks who just haven't lived up to the hype, offenses that are loaded with talent at the wide receiver, tight end, head coaches that are young, playing really complicated, intense offensive schemes, and a defense that wins games off of turnovers. That's both of these teams, Jaguars and Bears. I think that's a fun AFC, NFC comparison. Next, I've got the Packers and Broncos. Both of these teams start really slow. First half points, they're just not putting up any. The defense is keeping both of these teams in it. Both of them are young teams with lots of young pieces, making lots of mistakes. And those mistakes make them play to the level of their opponent a lot of the time, playing down to the opponent, playing up to the opponent. They can lose to anyone, they can beat anyone. And a quarterback that every now and then just makes a throw that makes you think, what are you doing? What did you see there? Did you come? Did we pick you off? Did we pick you up off of the street? I mean, obviously they are also picked off a lot. So that was an interesting comparison. Next, the Cowboys and Bengals. This one's pretty easy. Cowboys and Bengals have amazing offenses, score like 40, 50 points a game, and somehow still lose those games because their defense can't do anything. And both teams should be doing better, but because of their defenses, they're not. Next, I've got the Ravens and 49ers. Both of these teams have Super Bowl aspirations, and yet they just are so full of injuries, and they're starting to win some games still. They're not out of the playoff picture by any means, and if these teams can go on a tear and get players back healthy, could be really dangerous teams at their peaks. Next, I've got the Chiefs and Eagles. This kind of felt like a cop-out because we saw them face each other in the Super Bowl multiple times recently, but both of them are Super Bowl teams that just don't quite look the same as they have in the past. They just don't look like they're up to that Super Bowl level that we've seen both of these teams at. Something feels off about both of these teams, but they've got pretty much all of the same pieces there. So both of them have head coaches that seem to be working well. I mean, Andy Reid, I love Andy Reid. Quarterback play has been good, but not great on either team. Just kind of interesting that both of them are Super Bowl contenders, and yet just aren't quite looking all the way up to snuff. So next we'll go Lions and Steelers. I didn't like this. This was one of the ones that I wasn't a super big fan of, but both of these teams have old vets at QB. The whole team kind of just feels old, and both of these teams feel like they're in win now because of, the Steelers just feel like they've been in this middle ground of team that is just trying to get over the hump, and they always make the playoffs, lose the first year. The Lions, get in the playoffs, lose the first game. Lions have done the same thing, get in the playoffs, lose their first game. Both of these head coaches feel like they're culture guys who set the tone for the team. Anyway, that's my comp for those two. Next, I've got the Giants and the Titans. Both of these teams' fan bases love their quarterback, Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. If you ask a Titans fan, they'll say that Cam Ward is the guy, and there's just no one around him. And I feel like that's kind of how the Giants are too. Feels like you've got Brian Daboll kind of is going to stay there, maybe. This is his last year on his contract, though. We'll see if Brian Daboll is back. And the Titans already fired their head coach. It feels like it's just the quarterback and everyone else struggling around them. So I'm going to compare those two teams. Next, I've got the Colts and the Seahawks. Both of these massive offensive juggernauts with amazing defenses that are playing really well. Both of these quarterbacks, Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, both thought to have been kind of busts and end up getting a revival with a better team, with a better scheme. Both of them have a really good run game, really good offensive line, great wide receiver cores. These teams just kind of seem to match each other really well. Next, we've got the Saints and the Jets. Both of these teams feel like they maybe got their head coach picked out correctly. I mean, there's some questions about both of them, Kellen Moore and Aaron Glenn of the Jets. Both of them feel like they don't really have any pieces anywhere, especially now that they've traded pieces away. They both traded 2 players at the deadline, and they both still have their number 1 wide receiver in Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. They both have their starting running back in Alvin Kamara and Breece Hall, but they were both sellers at the deadline, and they both feel like they might have the right head coach, and it just doesn't seem like anything else is correct around that team. Next, I've got the Bills and the Rams. Both of these high-powered offenses that kind of have to carry the team. The defense isn't bad, but it has some spots that can get them in trouble. Both of them with a very highly respected offensive head coach, and both of these teams looking for a Super Bowl. Bills looking for their first one still, but and both of them with quarterbacks that everyone loves and want to see them play. Quarterbacks have a little bit different style of play. Both of them have weapons. I kind of lean on the Bills' run game and the Rams' passing game, but still, I think that's as close as we're going to get for that comparison. You might be able to compare the Rams and Bills to other teams in opposite conferences, but this is the closest that I could come to get every team to just match with one team. So, next, I've got the Commanders and Patriots. Both of these teams have great young quarterbacks in Jaden Daniels and Drake May. Love seeing these guys play. They are both kind of undervalued in their draft. And both of them are making plays. Both of them kind of carry their team to victory. And it doesn't feel like the team has that much around it, but everything is kind of just mid. There's not like a ton of like huge high value guys on offense or defense, and the quarterback's just kind of elevating everyone around him. And I like both of both of the head coaches as well. Next, I've got the Bucs and the Chargers. Both of these the quarterbacks are playing out of their minds, and it just doesn't seem like they're doing enough with the whole team to be able to do much in the playoffs. It feels like both of these are good enough to be playoff teams, but not good enough to win a playoff game. Maybe win a playoff game, but not more than a game. Both of them are going to be probably duking it out for spots in the playoffs. The Bucs, because of their division, probably get the 4th seed in the NFC, but if it wasn't for their crappy division, I think the Bucs and Chargers end up around the same spot and feel like a very similar team in the fact that they've got a quarterback that's playing out of their mind, not too much help around him. For Justin Herbert, it's his offensive line that he doesn't have help, but he has the weapons. For Baker Mayfield, he has the weapons, but the weapons are starting to come down. He's losing weapons, and he's got a decent offensive line for the Bucs. So next, I've got the Vikings and the Texans. Both of these teams, awesome head coaches that I really respect, I really like. Both of them have young, up-and-coming QBs. They're not quite playing up to their hoped level with a ton of offensive weapons in Justin Jefferson and Nico Collins. Both of them have offensive line struggles, and both of them have defenses that are winning them games. They're phenomenal defenses. The Vikings and Texans have 2 of the best defenses in the league. And both offenses are just underperforming based off of the talent around them because of the poor quarterback play and not much of a run game. Next, I've got the Browns and the Panthers. This one, just both young core. Like their draft assets are starting to come up. They're starting to work, but there's just not enough here yet for either of these teams to really play for anything. I know the Panthers have the same record as the Chiefs. I don't see that being too much, going too much farther. And both of these teams, like, they've got some big stars that are playing. Myles Garrett specifically for the Browns, but it's really their young group that's starting to come up, that's starting to play really well, and that gives me hope for both of these teams moving forward with head coaches that I really like. And then I think that's everything except for the last one. So last one, Cardinals-Raiders. Wasn't a huge fan of this one either, but both of these starting quarterbacks came into the year expecting to be pretty good, at least decent, at least mid, and both of them have very clearly underperformed. Geno Smith and Kyler Murray, neither of them are playing well. Kyler Murray is now on IR. He has already been replaced. I would not be, maybe I'd be a little bit of surprise, but I think it'd be better for the Raiders organization to bench Geno Smith as well. And they both play weird games where they just feel like they're always kind of in it, but always never come out with the win. Arizona has had so many one-score losses this year, and the Raiders have had multiple one-score losses as well. The Raiders are just not quite as good of a team, just in general. But yeah, that's my list. I just thought that was a kind of fun list to go over. Just something that I've been thinking about, talking about. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put this together, put it in an episode. But let me know what you guys think. Is an NFC team, what NFC team would you compare to another AFC team, or vice versa, AFC to NFC? I didn't compare any NFC to NFC teams or AFC to AFC, just comparing one conference team to a team from the other conference. Let me know in the comments which team you would compare to another one, and I will see you later in the week for game previews. Thank you, everyone. Heed the call.